Welcome, Andromeda, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Faltar Cama, this new album, Vibe Macht, and obviously more things related to the metal world. So we're starting by asking, I think a common question. So when do you decide to start a band like Faltar Cama?
I've known Zach for a longer time and Kenny too from Imperial Triumphant. And when I went to New York for the first time, I met them, and Zach and I were talking about music that we both like. And we found out quickly that we are both into black metal and into German opera and into German singers like Klaus Nomi and Nina Hagen and all these singers. And we were like, man, that's really funny that we both love this. And it's even more impressive since Zach doesn't speak German. I do, but he does not. And I was even surprised he knew so many musicians and the operas in German language, And we were talking about, and I told him that I have a classical singing background, and he was really fascinated by that, and he asked me to make some guest vocals on Imperial Triumphant's Vile Luxury album, and asking me to combine the growls, which I was doing by that time already, and the operatic singing both together. And I said, okay, I will try for them. And I went to the studio. I tracked the filth, that tune, and we had so much fun that we thought like we have to dedicate a whole band project to this, like mixing classical music with that 90s inspired black metal. And we had so much fun. He told me that he has this friend Darren who's composing black metal tunes inspired by Baroque music, and that he has a friend, Brandon, who's really like a beast on the drums. And if I would like to try, and write German lyrics, because he thinks German sounds super evil, and so that we could do this. And I said, yeah, let's try. And we did it. And that's the first album, Die Lederpredigt. And it was like an experiment to see, is it working or not? Do we have fun, creating music like this? And we had a lot of fun, and we thought like, man, we cannot leave it like this. We have to continue. And we asked Laurent from Paris to join us on bass. And that's when Weibermacht was produced. So it's all people who love classical music, who love the German language, who love black metal, and who love jazz music too. And we just try to fuel everything into Faltar Cama.
Faltar Cama. And well, the next question is, I think, is one of the obviously, why do you decide to put the band? Well, I saw the old concepts since the name of the band, since the first album, the Lieder Predigt, and now this Weidamacht. There are German names, so, and also the lyrics all completely in German. So what do you decide to put what do you decide to use the German as a main language for the band, as you are an American people?
Well, I'm not American. I'm Swiss, and I speak Swiss German and German. And Laurent, he's French. He's from Paris. And Zach, Brandon, and Darren, they love German as a language, the sound of it. And Zach said that he loves it so much, and he thinks it sounds so vicious and evil and aggressive, which he thinks fits very well to metal music and also to growls, but also to opera. I mean, German opera it's a great language for singing, in fact. And so it was obvious that we want to use German for the whole sound experience. Now, I mean, of course, I write the lyrics and stuff. It's my mother tongue. And that's easy. It's easy for me to write in my own native language. It's different, but it's also, I know how to pronounce these things. It's very close to me, and I think it fits well to the whole concept of the band, what we try to do. Yeah, that's why.
Okay, well, since Lida Predict appears in the world, at that time you released that album by Edge Circle Productions. Now you are releasing this new Vida Macht with Century Media. So how was
Yes.
the enter to work with Century Media? Because Century Media is now one of the big labels around the metal world.
Yes. I mean, Imperial Triumphant, they are working with Century Media too. And as far as I know, I remember how Zach was talking to them, and he showed them our music, and they really liked it. Also, the German, I mean, there is a German headquarter from Century Media, and they loved my lyrics and the whole thing, you know, how we did it, and they wanted to give us a platform to collaborate with them, which was amazing. I mean, wow, I didn't expect it. In fact, you know, it was a surprise for all of us. But it's a great chance, a great opportunity, and the people at Century Media are really open-minded stylistically. There are so many different bands. I'm sure you noticed the styles are very, very different, and there is also a lot of space for more experimental approaches and avant-garde approaches to metal. And yeah, that's how it all came together, because yeah, Brandon and Zach, they knew people from Century Media, and that's just, and they liked what we do, so that's it. That's how it happened.
Okay, okay. Well, other detail about this Vida Macht is, and one of the more interesting details about this one is the cover art, because this cover art was did by Eliran Cantor. So
Yes.
who came with the idea to create this kind of cover art with him? Perhaps it was the label, perhaps it was you, or who knows? Perhaps.
Zachary, he did it. Because, you know, the topic of Weibermacht means something like bitch power, you know, and that's a concept that you can find in art and literature since a long time, when it's a portrayal of dominant women and submissive men. And we took this as a concept for this specific album, and also with the topic of BDSM or femdom in specific, like very dominant women. I always want to portray strong women. On the first album, it was a vicious goddess, and this time it's more of a sophisticated dominatrix, or a sassy, you know, cunning, naughty kind of dominatrix. And because it's more fun to sing like this, you know, for me personally, it's more fun to write lyrics like that and to express myself with the voice. And so to have something where you combine opera and classical music with black metal as raw as this, so you have something very elegant and you have something very rebellious and trashy, you know, so you have that huge contrast. And we wanted to express this also with the painting, to make something which is not typical black metal, like, you know, but that's what we were looking for. We didn't want to do a very traditional black metal album. It was never the goal. The goal was to do something different. And I mean, he's a great artist. He has these oil paintings, and we thought it fits so well to the operatic aspect of our music, you know. And also the topic of Weibermacht, that woman that sits, you know, with the BDSM topic in it too, in the lyrics. You see that woman that sits on the face of a man, and the man is like a broom, like on a witch. But at the same time, it's that Renaissance kind of painting that you normally know from religious topics, you know, all these heavenly kind of images with angels and stuff. But this time, it's a dominant woman sitting on the face of a man, and she rides him through the air. And I thought it was genius of him, of Elina Ganto, to do it like this. Zach was talking to him. He explained to him what we are writing about in the lyrics, what we are singing about, and told him what are the symbolics that we are looking for. We told him about the concept of Weibermacht, you know, from art history and literature. And that's all the genius that is him, you know, to paint something like this. We just gave him all the freedom. Zach contacted him, but obviously it inspired him too to paint this. And I think, in my opinion, it's a really great painting.
Yeah, it's a great painting, because I remember the Baroque style or Renaissance style that appears in a long time ago. That's when I saw that cover. Usually the Illyrian Cantor paintings are influenced by these Renaissance, the Renaissance paintings. So that's why
Yes,
I love. That's one thing that a lot of people see in the cover art.
exactly. But it's also the motif is really disturbing. Like in the beginning, you're like, what's this? I remember when I saw this for the first time, I was like, okay, what is she sitting on? And I was like, man, that's so interesting how he took that topic and made like his own image with that, you know. I was really surprised, but you have to look at it to really understand what's going on in the image, you know. And I liked it also to have a black metal album that has this blue background and the pink dress of a woman. I thought that's so atypical. It's really not obvious, you know, and I love that a lot.
Okay. Now talking about talking about the composition process of both albums, because I remember that I spoke with you when released the letter predict, the Lida predict in 2020. I spoke with you. Remember to do an interview, but now we have the opportunity
Yes.
to talk with you. So for this aspect, how was the composition process to create both albums? Who came with the idea to the riffs, the schemes? Because you are in charge of the lyrics, as you mentioned it, but perhaps you involved, and perhaps you will involved with a lot of things creating both albums.
Exactly. So the first album, it was Darren who wrote and Zach who wrote the big music part, like the harmonies, the form. And I wrote all the lyrics and all the melodies because, you know, every language has its own logic about where to place accents, where to breathe, and so forth. So it kind of gives you the direction of the melodies which are possible. And they gave me a lot of freedom about this. So all the melodies that comes from me. And the music comes from Darren and Zach. And Brandon just jumped right on it. And it was, as I said, it was a very low budget experimental record, Die Lederpredigt. We just tried out. And even I remember I had some parts which were written, you know, I knew, okay, I want to do this here and this there. But some things happened in the studio on the spot, spontaneously, when I met with Zach and Steve, who tracked us, and then I told him my ideas, and he was like, oh yeah, cool, or maybe you can try this here and there. And I improvised also certain parts of it. Like I love jazz music, so I'm used to work like this too. And as I said, it was an experiment, and we saw, okay, that's what it is. We had a lot of feedback from people about that, what they liked the most, what they think we could even use even more. And also, we also had our thoughts about that. And then we started to sort out. We were like super curious about how to develop the things we liked, you know? So we took, for Weibermacht as a difference, everybody, since we also have a bass player now, he's a very terrific musician, a very good jazz bassist actually, and also great composer. And so we all started to contribute to the compositions, but the melodies are still with me because of the lyrics, you know. But sometimes we either Zach and I met in Paris and we wrote one of the tunes like this, and then the others contributed, or Darren started with something, or Zach started with something. We all contributed to this album. And also we have one cover song, which is also different from the first record, which is also the only one in English, not in German. And so we had that approach to composition. It was more, this time it was more elaborate, more refined. We were really more looking for specific things we wanted to highlight, and also more diversity in expression. I think every song is a bit different than the other on the album, on the new one. And it's less less of accidents or experiments than the first one. You know, we were really, I was even listening to a lot of Strauss and Verdi to listen to the melodies, to have more of big scale operatic lines than on the first one. I really wanted to have some more melodic aspects to it also, and to try out things. We opened up even more towards different styles and to mix them into the black metal foundation. Yeah, that's what we did this time. So it's more refined. But we all contributed. Everybody is always telling something. We have all of us have very different backgrounds. You know, like Zach studied composition. Laurent is a trained jazz bass player, but started as a classically trained guitar player. I'm a classically trained singer who then went into jazz music and then into metal. So we all have a huge background with our, you know, culture-wise, because we come from different countries, but also with how we were trained in music. And also we all love all kinds of music. And that's what all comes together. And we have to negotiate about how we hear the music we want to write, and somewhere in the middle we can find each other, and that's what is Folterkammer, you know. But we never know what happens next. It's a very playful thing, very creative actually, and I enjoy the process a lot. But we all contribute. Also Brandon, he always thinks about many things. What is funny about him, he's a trained actor and movie maker. So he has a totally different approach again to how to do the music. I'm sorry, I hope the light is not too disturbing. And no, but everybody has something different. And personally, I like that, because if it would just be the ideas of just one person, it would never sound like it does like this. Here you can hear it's a negotiation, it's a compromise, it's an energetic process of all kinds of influences, and I love that kind of making music as me, I do, and I know the other ones too.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, one of the creators for the music is, in this case, is Zach. Zach belongs to Imperial Triumphant. So that's normally his schedule and times to play live is very busy, because I saw these last 2 years Imperial Triumphant play a lot of tours, a lot of gigs around the world in general. So how will be the presentations with Folterkammer about the next presentations, because Zach will be very busy doing shows with Imperial Triumphant.
Yes, it's true, but he also really enjoys Folterkammer, because that's the band where he said, I can play on stage. I only have to play guitar. I don't have to wear a mask. And obviously he's really enjoying it. And, you know, we all have different projects. He's not the only one. I'm a soloist in an opera together with Kenny of Imperial Triumphant on the drums, and also with Laurent, our bass player. He's also part of that opera. So we all have different projects, and Folterkammer is our shared baby. You know, it's like, and when we all have the time to tour with it, we will do it. Like what we are going to do at the end of this month, we are going to tour the East Coast of the United States. And so it's always, I mean, it's always schedules that we have to match, you know. But we all love to play so much, and we all love to work with each other. So we try to make it happen on a regular basis. But at the same time, I have to perform with the opera. And at the same time, Zach has to play with Imperial, and Laurent has to play with his other bands too, and so forth and so forth. We are all busy people with more than just one project, you know.
Okay.
But okay. Try to make it as possible as, you know, as we can do. You know, we all want to play this so much.
Okay. Oh, well, talking about the promotion of this Weihnacht, what are kind of plans do you have for this new album? Perhaps you will do tours in Europe, because you are from Switzerland, so perhaps you have contact there to play with Folterkammer, and who knows, perhaps you will came for the first time to Latin America. Who knows? Which plans do you have for this new album?
Exactly. So for now, we do this East Coast tour. And we because we also want to see how these songs of Weibermacht are working when it's played live, you know, because that's going to be the first time that we will play them live, the new tunes, you know. So the goal, actually, as you said it, as for us, we are now trying to organize a tour for Europe and, of course, Latin America, because we know that Latin America, I mean, we had so much great feedback from Latin America, and I know that there is a huge metal scene everywhere, and we are talking about that, in fact. So the goal, of course, is to always play the music live, to tour with the music, and also to continue to work for new music that happens at the same time, you know. But for Weibermacht, we have single releases, of course, and the album will come out on the 19th of April. So, and then it's all about organizing tours, which is always a lot of work. Yes, but that's it. Yes.
Okay, okay. Oh, talking about, as I mentioned, talking about other kind of aspects. One of the things that
Yes.
I saw into the lyrics about the Folterkammer is that you speak about the anti-religion, this kind of stuff, and also I don't, how do you say your look has for this new album, especially all dress like the priest, like this kind of stuff.
Position of Monty Python.
So in this aspect, what's your opinion about now this kind of concept usually related with a lot of stuff with the metal?
You know, I think what is um, what I would say what is different with Folterkammer is we all have a lot of humor. You know, we love sarcasm, cynical things. We love satire. We love things. We don't take everything so seriously. You know what I mean? We love to make jokes. Also, in my lyrics, there is a lot. It also takes a lot of humor to combine opera with black metal. You know, because it's so contrasty. You know, it's like on the other side of the continuum. You know, of the aesthetics, and I personally love that, and I love to have comedy. I'm a huge fan of Frank Zappa, for example. I really think humor belongs in music and even in black metal, you know. So and there is this so, and we also have it. Every album has a different highlight, but as I told you, it's always about the portrayal of a strong female or archetype or a strong woman, whatever that will be. It can be this today, and tomorrow it will be this. And you know, Die Lederpredigt was about a vicious goddess. It was I tried to kind of pick up that topic of anti-religion that we know from black metal, but not with the Christian and the Satanism thing per se. I wanted to write against all oppressive systems. And I portrayed it not with a kind Maria-like woman, but with a very vicious woman, you know? So this was the first album. The second one is about a more sophisticated woman, a dominatrix, a woman who is in charge, and she sings about submissive men and about her being very how do you say, like she's aware of her strength, you know, and of her power. And because that's fun for me, and maybe for a next album it will be a completely different type of woman again, but that's what it is now. And since we all have something to say about the music and also about how we put the visual concept of it, we all have different ideas, you know. When you think about visual things, you will always remember the guys in the red robes with the gags in their mouths and that funny little cross there, because where do you see that? It's like to me it has an impact, a visual one. You will remember this if you want or not, you know. And it's also to highlight a bit the humor of it all, you know. And it's the me being all in black and kind of, yeah, it's like you can see it's the woman who is in her position of being strong, and the guys who are like playing a bit with some of the motives. But it's not so much, I don't want to sing again about Satanism. In black metal we have so many bands who already did that so well, you know. To me, I want to attach a bit more modern topics, like BDSM, or like the history of strong women. I write in my lyrics, I write a lot about mythological figures that we associate with the dominatrix, or historical figures. And I did a lot of research about the topic, back to ancient Greek times, back to the medieval times in Europe. I wanted to know, where are all the kinky stories? I wanted to know, what do we already know about that? And I wanted to write about this. And I trained with a professional dominatrix from London, I really wanted to dive into the subject. I always want to change the topics, because otherwise it gets boring to me. I don't always want to do the same things. It has to always have a different topic, a different aspect, to be inspired in a creative way. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also the looks, also the videos. This time we celebrate strong women. We celebrate that men can be submissive to. It's funny, but it's not the main topic. The main topic is this concept of Weibermacht, of a dominant woman, and whatever that means. But the most obvious example we know is the dominatrix, right? So I play a bit with that. And the looks of the others, I mean, Zach has his ideas, Darren has ideas, Laurent has ideas, and I have some, and everybody contributes, and then you mix like a cocktail, and ta-da, you have it. I was even surprised too. You should know, when we had the photo shooting, I knew there will be these red robes, but I didn't know anything else. And I was putting the makeup on and stuff. I turned around and I saw them in these robes with these outfits, and I was laughing so much because I was not expecting this, how they looked. I had to redo my makeup because I was laughing tears. I thought, okay, that will be special, like a black dressed woman, and all of a sudden you see those red robes. You don't associate that with black metal bands normally, but it all comes together with the humor. But of course we are also rebellious against oppressive systems. But you don't always need to talk about Satanism to do that. There are many topics how you can do that. Well, yeah. Does it make sense to explain something?
Yes. Well, as I mentioned, talking about other kind of aspects. So, in general, what is your opinion about now the backing tracks or backing vocals as a vocalist?
I think that's fair enough. I think when you are touring a lot, I mean, the worst you can do as a singer is to overdo it, to put to sing a lot every day. That's the worst you can do, because you make your voice tired. The best exercise for your voice as a singer is to just sleep and to shut up, to say nothing. When you exercise, you cannot exercise like an instrumentalist for 4 or 5 hours every day. You can't do that. You will ruin your voice. And so when you practice and when you sing, you should always it should be very efficient, so that you know how to handle the techniques, and that you know the material well, but you cannot overdo it. And when you are a touring singer, and you have the stress of the tour, the climate is everywhere is different. You have the airplane with that horrible AC and stuff like this. And sometimes you're getting sick. So you really have to take care of your instrument, because you only have that voice once. If it's ruined, it's gone, And so I think every singer should respect her or his limits. There are people, they are more sensitive. So if they feel that the voice is tired and stressed out, it's better to use backing tracks, if this is possible with the music you do, than to overstrain your voice and to damage it, because we all want this beautiful voice to continue to sing for a long time. So if that singer feels like, I want to protect myself, and it's possible, I think he or she should definitely do it, I haven't done that yet, because the music I do is always changing a little bit, so I have to adapt that live on stage. And I have a dramatic voice type, so that means my voice is very strong. I can do many things without hurting it. But as you said correctly, sometimes you can get sick or something is not really well, and then you have to take care. And I don't think it's a bad thing if singers who are touring so much and sing every day, if they try to protect their voices with something like this. It's only fair, I think. In fact, it's smart. If you can do it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Andromeda, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed one like me. You explained me a lot for this Faltar Cama. So perhaps you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metalero followers.
Okay. Well, what I would like to say is, first and foremost, thank you very much for your curiosity and interest. Thank you for your support in discovering new music, and even it means crazy people who combine opera and black metal with German lyrics. And thank you guys for showing new music to people, and keep on rocking, keep on discovering. And for me too, the greatest thing is to discover new things I didn't know before. And it's always great to have people who introduce you to new music. So thank you very, very much. Keep on rocking. And if you can make it to a Folterkammer show, I really, really hope we can tour Latin America very soon. And I hope I see some of you guys there, and let's talk and let's say hi and then rock.